Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, April 2nd. So today we do have the moon moving out of Leo energy and we will be locking into Virgo energy. So this transition is usually a little bit noticeable, just seeing as when we're in this fire energy, especially because we're in Aries season, it was fire on fire. We had a little bit of a pep in our step. We were looking for fun. We were trying to be a little bit more playful. We were very in touch with our emotions. We were trying to express ourselves. And then we shift into earth energy, which is just pretty much like putting an end to that. We kind of splat down, bang our head against a wall. We go from this fast-paced movement of fire energy to the low and slow controlled energy of earth. Now, Virgo energy is ruled over by Mercury, ruler of the mental plane. And Mercury is currently in Aries energy, fire energy. So what we have to kind of understand is that Virgo energy, the whole mission is to slow things down, to become honed in and focused on where chaos needs to be organized in our lives. And we have a tendency to put things in their rightful place when the moon is in Virgo. And we find that when we pay attention and organize our physical environment, that our mental and our emotional realm gets calm, gets grounded because of it. Our need to organize, to get our shit together, to get our ducks in a row is very, very strong. The mental plane is definitely moving like 100 miles per hour. And we are kind of tunnel visioned, if you will, on the most important details of our lives, on the most chaotic areas of our lives. And we really do a deep dive in our mental plane and in our physical environment in order to put everything back in its place. Now, we are really kind of picking our own brains with the Virgo moon and picking our emotions as well. And what we'll find over the next couple of days with the moon in Virgo is that we kind of peel back the layers and uncover some aha moments that are going on not only in our mental plane, but activating a different emotional attitude because of it. So it should be helpful. Just keep in mind that the Virgo energy always wants to solve the problem, always wants to be of service, always wants to fix things. It's the fixer, the healer of the zodiac. So we're definitely going to move into that particular realm. And just keep in mind that we are building towards the moon shifting in Libran energy, giving us our full moon in Libra on the 6th. So the moon will go void, of course, at 2:04 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will lock into that Virgo energy at 6:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is also the last day that Mercury, the ruler over Virgo energy, will be in Aries. We will see Mercury shift into Taurus energy here on the 3rd. Go ahead, listen to the April energy forecast that is already out there for your listening pleasure. And of course, the astro forecast for Mercury moving into Taurus on what that is going to mean for us. So there are 12 different aspects here today, and 10 of them involve the moon. Venus and Jupiter will be coming together and making a little bit of an interaction first thing here today. Venus, of course, in Taurus energy, her place of power, her place of comfort, the only grounding energy that we have at the moment when the moon shifts into Virgo. That will definitely help us out. And of course, Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, blessings, in this Aries energy, really pushing us to create new opportunities, to go out and really test the boundaries of our comfort zone, really testing the boundaries of who it is that we now are as we go through this morph, this transformation, this rebranding, this identity shift. Now, Venus and Jupiter coming together, first of all, is very opportunistic in order to realize what it is that we want, we need, we desire in our relationship realm, in our physical realm. And Jupiter, who is pretty much the best hype girl that we could ever ask for, bringing a whole lot of confidence, a whole lot of optimism. We're really kind of pumped up for the possibilities that await us if we were just to get out of our own way and actually be able to communicate with confidence and with clarity to those in our lives that can contribute to our overall happiness, what it is that we need from them, where it is that we need them to meet us halfway. While Venus is in Taurus energy, is examining the routines, the relationships, the financial aspect of our physical realms, and we are identifying the areas that we do not feel safe, secure, and stable in, and therefore need to be a little bit more vocal on how it is that we plan to change this and to fix this. Now, the moon, while still in Leo energy, is going to interact with the sun, who of course is in Aries energy. We get this last little blast of fire on fire. Now, this is trying to pick us up. This is trying to put some pep in our step. This is trying to push our emotions to the surface in order for them to be expressed. This is also a time where a new level of inspiration, motivation, and creativity is coming into our focus, into our awareness. The moon, of course, our emotions, our unconscious self. The sun, of course, is our vitality, our life force energy, shining a bright light on what it is that we have to do. And in Aries energy, we have to boss up, we have to be bold, we have to be courageous, we have to be brave, we have to take the leadership role, we have to initiate something new. We have to be assertive and aggressive enough to identify what it is that we're passionate, excited about, what it is that we actually desire for ourselves, and we actually have to take action to go ahead and pursue that particular path of happiness. The moon in Leo is hyping us up for that. It's the heart and soul of the zodiac. We're heart-led at the moment. And because this is fire on fire, we do have the ability to really kind of see that burst of energy, see that burst of emotion, see that burst of creativity, see that burst of inspiration in order to actually light the fire, not only in our heart space, but under our ass, to get our shit together, to orient to a certain path and direction, to identify what it is that we want to create, and to actually take action and go ahead and do it. The moon, the last aspect that the moon in Leo will be making, is a trine, which is a beautiful energy with Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, who is in this Aries energy. Now, as we've kind of been exploring, there's a lot of fire in our physical bodies right now. If you listen to this week's Ascension forecast, we were talking about how this isn't really the typical energy of Aries season that we are used to, that there is a blockage of some sort preventing us from taking action and using our energy as a method, as a medium, as a channel to kind of get that inner realm energy out into the outer realm. And therefore, we are holding a lot of that fire energy in, which of course in turn is creating inflammation and dis-ease in the physical body. Now, Mercury being in Aries energy, we're all over the place. Yeah, we're having some very strong ideas, very strong viewpoints, very, very intense shifts in perspective, but we haven't been able to actually get it out in the way that we would like. There's a lot of pressure in the head. And when the moon and Mercury come together in a positive aspect, it does kind of suggest that we're getting on the same page here. And of course, the Leo energy, fire energy, the Aries energy is a fire energy. So our heart and our head are working very well together in order to realize what it is that our heart is asking us to pursue, and realizing where it is that we have to take the initiative to actually put forth an action, take the leadership role, and make things happen. Now, Mercury being the mental plane, ruling over information and the way that we communicate our thoughts and opinions, we're a little bit fired up. And because our heart space in this Leo energy is fired up as well, we could have some very profound aha moments of inspiration. We could also have some very strong conversations when it comes to actually expressing our thoughts and feelings to the outside world. So the moon goes void, of course, and locks into that Virgo energy, 6:58 a.m., again, Eastern Standard Time. The first aspect that we have is with the moon in Virgo making an interaction with Pluto, who is fresh in this Aquarian energy. You'll often hear me say the one thing that I love about Pluto energy and Virgo energy is that they both like to dissect the mind. They both like to kind of move into that inner psyche, start kind of plucking things apart, saying why it is that we think the way we do, why we act the way we do, why we feel the way we do, and really kind of crack that wide open and peel back the layers. Now, this particular energy is offering that as well. However, this is the first time that we have this interaction because Pluto, of course, is now in Aquarian energy. So this is a different vibe. We're still adjusting to this. And of course, Pluto's whole mantra, focus, is transformation. In this Aquarian energy, this is mostly on the global stage, seeing the transformation and the change happen with society, with the collective. But in our own, in particular, lives, the Aquarian energy represents our hopes, our wishes, our vision for the future. And so the moon in Virgo kind of interacting with Pluto in this Aquarian energy is really going to get down to the nitty-gritty on the finer details. Virgo energy focuses on the finer details in the here and now, what we have control over, what we can put into order in order to actually equal up to the great big grander vision that the Aquarian energy that Pluto is sitting in is trying to show us. So there is this emotional intensity, maybe even a negative narrative that pops in because that Virgo energy is highly judgmental, highly critical, especially upon ourselves, on where it is that we got to get our shit together if we stand a chance in hell of being able to put the puzzle pieces in order to actually reveal the kind of great big vision, great big dream that this Aquarian energy is trying to inspire us to actually manifest. Now, the moon will interact with Chiron, the wounded healer, in not the nicest way. This is definitely when we are going to be sitting in the thick of things, really picking ourselves apart, really kind of analyzing the not so nice thoughts, the not so nice emotions, the not so nice memories coming up within us. Chiron, of course, lends us the wisdom, the experience in order to heal said wounds, but we really have to kind of, pick off the scab, rub salt in the wound, in order for us to analyze what the problem actually is. And keep in mind that we have to feel it before we can heal it. And the Virgo energy, being a healing energy, being a fixer, a problem solver, really needs to analyze where the primary root cause of some of the fears and doubts and insecurities, the wounds, if you will, where they actually lay, so that we can really come up with a strategy on how we're going to grow and improve past the current situation that we're currently in that is blocking us from actually moving forward. The moon in Virgo will directly oppose and sit across from Saturn, the lord of karma, who of course is in Pisces energy. Virgo and Pisces sit across from each other in the zodiac wheel. They represent the healing axis. The moon, of course, is our emotions, our unconscious self, the past, the experiences that we've had that have created our emotional wounds, the pain and the trauma that have contributed to that. Saturn, of course, the lord of karma, ruling over roles, responsibilities, systems, foundations. He's the one that gives us tough love life lessons. And he's in Pisces energy, healing the emotional and spiritual realm. Now, how are we doing that? Well, we're taking a good look at how it is that we got here, what it is that is alive and well in us that doesn't feel so good, so that we can fix it. And then Saturn is going to illuminate for us the structure, the routine, the foundation that we need to put into play in our everyday life to give us an outlet, a focus on where it is that we can equalize our mind, our body, our soul. Giving ourselves time to heal those particular factors and then integrate those factors so that we can operate as a whole energy, a whole being. Mars, who is in Cancer energy, will be sextiling, beautiful aspect, with the true note, our soul's path, our destiny point. Now, reminder, Mars is fresh in this Cancer energy. If you're feeling emotional, if you are feeling lazy, if you were feeling unmotivated, uninspired, and kind of defensive and semi-frustrated, that would be Mars in Cancer. And we're definitely learning the hard way on how to adjust to that. This is a positive aspect though, which means that we are getting a huge amount of support. A sextile is a supporting aspect in order for us to move forward, to take on whatever obstacle, challenge, blockage that we are currently facing that's essentially holding us back from moving forward. Now, if you listen to the astro forecast that I put out for Mars being in Cancer, you would know that we don't necessarily go from point A to point B with Mars in Cancer. It's kind of like circling around the objective that we're trying to get at. We take one step forward, we take two steps back. We take two steps forward, we take one step back. It is not a straightforward action. And we don't have stable energy to constantly be motivated to take steps forward to where it is that we desire to be. It kind of comes in bursts. And so that can be very frustrating as well, not having the stable energy to actually stay the course and make things happen. Regardless, this is a time when we are emotionally and intuitively inspired to move forward, which is an interesting dynamic, seeing as Cancer energy usually has us looking back, very attached to the past and preventing ourselves from moving in a forward direction. What I like about this is that we are rising to the occasion, rising to the challenge. We are willing to take small steps forward, and we're really just looking to participate in activities, in actions that make us feel good, that make us feel like we have a purpose, make us feel like there's a meaning to our actions. And realistically speaking, we recognize that there is a desire to grow. There is a desire to improve ourselves. And we are definitely trying to identify the opportunities that we are hoping to grace our presence to help us kind of move from the past and initiate a new path and direction moving into the future. Shortly after, the moon in Virgo energy will sextile Mars in this Cancer energy. A sextile, again, very, very stabilizing, supportive energies. Emotionally, this Virgo energy wants to put the pieces together, wants to strategize, wants to calculate, wants to really think of the long-term consequences of any actions that we may take. And of course, Mars is all about making those moves and taking those actions, especially when we are emotionally inspired to actually do so. And what we get here is a new level of inspiration and motivation to construct a plan, to strategize how we're going to make these moves and take these actions. And this is actually firing Mars up. So we're feeling positive, we're feeling good, we feel like we're moving in the right direction to solve some problems and mostly get us out of this funk, get us out of looking back towards the past and orient ourselves to where it is that we plan to be moving forward in the future. The moon will trine the true node. This is some earth on earth action because, of course, the moon in Virgo energy, earth energy. The true node in Taurus energy, in earth energy. A trine is a harmonization between the two, and emotionally speaking, we must be coming up with some solutions to our problems because we're feeling good about the prospects of the path that we are about to walk. We are seeing the growth, we're seeing the improvement, we're seeing the aha moments, the realizations, the epiphanies that are coming in right now, showing us where it is that we've been too connected to the past, where we've been stuck in old habits and routines, and where it is that the chaos really has to be eliminated, because again, that Virgo energy just wants to create order, where that chaos needs to be eliminated. And because of that, we are now planning step by step on what we need to do to clean this mess up, to get our ducks in a row so that we can start actively taking action, taking steps to move on. The moon will interact with Jupiter though, and not the greatest aspect. What we're getting here is a huge magnification, if you will, on where it is that Jupiter, being in this Aries energy, is a little bit restless, a little bit anxious to get the party started, to go out in the world and create new opportunities for ourselves. And there's a hesitation here because the Virgo energy, of course, being ruled over by Mercury, needs to think about all the things, all the small details, all the variables, all the outcomes, all the consequences, all the different avenues. And then, even then, when we have a plan in place, we need to review it, pick it apart, play devil's advocate, really throw some wrenches into these scenarios that will likely never happen before, emotionally speaking, we're going to feel prepared enough to actually jump into this new opportunity and to make things happen. The moon in Virgo will make a positive interaction with Mr. Pluto. This is great. This means that, again, we're jumping into the mental plane. We're dissecting where it is that there's some problems. We are providing some very creative solutions on how it is that we're going to get past that. And because this is a positive interaction, especially compared to the first interaction that we had with the moon in Virgo and Pluto in Aquarius, what we're gaining now is some synchronicities, some harmonizations, if you will, with the smaller details that the Virgo energy needs to focus on and the big picture that the Aquarian energy wants us to focus on. And the vibe that we're getting here is an intense amount of empowerment. Like we have the power to solve this. We have the power to move forward. We are in control. We are standing in our place of authority in our lives, and we're finally starting to see how the big picture needs to be broken down in small, manageable pieces in order to start clicking things together in the here and now that will eventually reveal the greater, grander plan, the greater, grander vision and dream that we're actually looking to manifest. The last aspect that we have here today is the moon and the sun coming together in a beautiful, harmonizing energy. So the moon in Virgo, yes, is a little bit grounding, but we are very much stuck in our mental plane. And the sun, of course, shining a bright light on this Aries energy. The Aries energy, being a fire energy, is about action, initiation, identity, taking the leadership role, tapping into the boldness, the bravery, the courage that we need in order to put ourselves out there and start fresh. And the moon in Virgo, because we essentially have made some great strides in coming up with plans and strategies over the course of the day, we are actually feeling comfortable enough, grounded enough, prepared enough to set the tone, to set the goal, to actually give the green light go ahead to our physical body to start moving in the direction that we've identified is the best plan and strategy for us to actually carry out the actual plan of action that's going to get us from point A to point B. And I know many of us have been waiting for clarity, and this is absolutely some very important puzzle pieces that will be revealed to us on how it is that we're actually going to move forward.